Follow the link in the description for your chance to enter to win a free $50 Amazon gift card or your choice of awesome t-shirt from my friends at Ripped Apparel. All part of my 7K subscriber giveaway. Enter today. Not seeing my videos in your subscription feed? Make sure you've clicked the little bell next to the subscribe button to be notified of all my newest uploads.
Hey, what's up people? Pizzal here, and today I want to talk to you guys about the new Vinegar Syndrome DVD Blu-ray combo pack release for Psycho Cop Returns. And Psycho Cop Returns is another one of those movies that I watched constantly on late night cable television, HBO, Cinemax. Psycho Cop Returns was also on USA Up All Night on a fairly regular basis, as I do recall. I loved watching it. It's great early 90s horror, comedy, cheese, B-movie greatness. It has all the accoutrements that you could possibly want from an early 90s horror comedy B-movie. And I got really excited when I heard that Vinegar Syndrome was releasing Psycho Cop Returns on Blu-ray because, A, it's Psycho Cop Returns on Blu-ray. I love the movie. I couldn't wait to pick it up on Blu-ray. But also, it gave me some hope that we might get a Blu-ray release for Psycho Cop. Now, you guys have heard me talk about Psycho Cop on this channel. It's one of my all-time favorite, so bad, it's good movies. In the case of Psycho Cop, I say it's so bad, it's brilliant. I did a File 13 review for Psycho Cop. I'll put a link to it somewhere around here. Go check that out. I saw Psycho Cop Returns first, but when I was introduced to Psycho Cop, the first movie, I fell in love instantly. This movie has given me so many laughs over the years. I love it. I love this movie to death, but unfortunately in the US, we never got an official DVD or Blu-ray release for Psycho Cop. So Vinegar Syndrome, if you're watching this, please, please, please bring us a Psycho Cop Blu-ray. That would be awesome. But as for Psycho Cop Returns, it finds our hero, Officer Joe Vickers, a psychotic, Satan-worshipping, unkillable, kind of undead police officer who is here to protect and sever. He overhears some guys talking about throwing a bachelor party after hours in this office building, and Officer Vickers decides he's going to crash that party, and bloodshed, carnage, all sorts of over-the-top fun gratuity ensues. This is such a fun movie. This is a great, great early 90s B horror comedy that has all the accoutrements that you could possibly want from an early 90s B horror comedy. Bobby Ray Schaefer, who plays the Psycho Cop, who plays Joe Vickers in this movie, he portrays the character with such aplomb. You can tell that he is having the time of his life playing Psycho Cop in this movie and in the first Psycho Cop as well. His performance is absolutely fantastic. The one-liners he throws out there, they're just a thing of beauty. You have the right to remain dead. I mean, I needn't say more. That line alone should make this a must-buy for you. But great one-liners, phenomenal performance from Bobby Ray Schaefer. I love him as the Psycho Cop. Great performances from all the cast, really. I mean, clearly you can tell everybody was just having a good time. They understood what kind of movie they were making, and they just had fun with it, and that definitely shows in the performances. The characters are all really fun and memorable. There's one character who is just so over the top in his sort of spastic, nerdy paranoia. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. The movie's almost, in a way, strangely cartoonish, which makes sense because Adam Rifkin is actually, aside from being a filmmaker, is also a talented artist, animator. So that kind of makes sense. I can't say enough good things about Psycho Cop Returns. I love this movie. I absolutely love it. I can't say enough good things about it. If you've not seen Psycho Cop Returns, This Vinegar Syndrome DVD Blu-ray combo pack would be a great way to introduce yourself to Psycho Cop Returns. If you're a fan of early 90s B horror comedies, you definitely want to look in to Psycho Cop Returns. If you're a fan of Psycho Cop Returns, you definitely want to look into checking out this Blu-ray from the folks over at Vinegar Syndrome, because it is loaded with extras. The movie sports a brand new 2K restoration approved by director Adam Rifkin. The movie looks fantastic. The movie sounds fantastic. Vinegar Syndrome did an excellent job with this transfer. As far as extras are concerned, we have a 43-minute making of entitled Habeas Corpus, The Making of Psycho Cop Returns. It features interviews with director Adam Rifkin, Bobby Ray Schaefer, screenwriter Dan Povenmire, actors Mike Dougal, Rod Schweitzer, Nick Vallelongo, Barbara Niven, and Melanie Good, as well as editor Peter Shank. Adam Rifkin discusses his desire to make both high art movies and high schlock movies. So he created the pseudonym Riff Coogan to be the schlock movie director, while Adam Rifkin would be the more mainstream artsy movie director. I thought that was interesting. He discusses his early work as both directors, including The Invisible Maniac, which is a really fun early 90s also B horror comedy that's not made it to DVD or Blu-ray in the US, unfortunately. Hopefully that movie will be coming out very soon on DVD and Blu-ray. Really fun movie. He discusses The Dark Backward, which is a movie that featured Bill Paxton, and The Chase with Charlie Sheen. Bobby Ray Schaefer discusses getting cast in the first film. He discusses the first movie briefly. I wished he would have talked a little bit more about it, but I understand he's here to talk about Psycho Cop Returns. Dan Povenmire discusses the parameters that his script had to abide by, which included 3 or less locations, and something that can be shot in a week. They shot this movie in 7 days. Bobby Ray Schaefer discusses that he had originally signed a 5-picture deal to play Psycho Cop, so he thought he was going to be like the next big horror icon, the next big Freddy Krueger type, slasher. It didn't happen. He also discusses the method he used to build the character of the Psycho Cop. Dougal, Schweitzer, Vallelongo, Niven, and Good all discuss the circumstances in which they were cast in the film. Schaefer discusses that the Fraternal Order of the Police came out against Psycho Cop Returns. They all discuss shooting the film entirely at night and on such a short schedule, and the difficulties of that, including lots of sleep deprivation, particularly on Adam Rifkin's part, which eventually led him to have hallucinations on the set. Rifkin discusses the home video market of the late 80s and early 90s, and how if you had a 90-minute movie with blood and boobs, or preferably both, it would sell, because there was such a high demand for product for video stores of that era. Really nice making of here. Everything that you could possibly want to know about the making of Psycho Cop Returns is in this 43-minute making of featurette. I loved it. Highly informative, but also highly, highly entertaining. We have The Victims of Vickers, a 9.5-minute interview with special effects artist Mike Tristano. Tristano discusses how he got involved with Psycho Cop 2. He discusses how they accomplished some of the special effects in the movie. He discusses how the early 90s were really the last bastion of independent filmmaking, with companies like New Horizon and Full Moon and some others making really great indie horror movies, and how that's really sort of dried up these days, sadly, and the need for practical effects also having dried up as well. He discusses how all his work was cut in the movie. There was a very, very heavily edited version of this movie that came out on VHS back in the day. I do have to mention that this is the fully restored, uncut version of Psycho Cop Returns. But basically he discusses how all his effects work were cut out of that version of the movie, and how happy he is to see his work restored on this new Blu-ray. We've got an audio commentary with Adam Rifkin, moderated by Elijah Drenner of Vinegar Syndrome. I watched about 45 minutes of the commentary. It was pretty interesting. It was pretty entertaining. Rifkin discusses his cavalier attitude toward directing the film, and how he wanted to experiment and have fun and promote a very fun, laid-back environment on the set. He also discusses how they were shooting all nights, and when you're shooting all nights, of course, you sleep all day. However, the particular week that they were shooting Psycho Cop Returns was the same week that his building where he lived was being earthquake-proofed. So when he would go home to sleep during the day, that was very difficult to do with all the jackhammering. So he was so sleep deprived at one point while making the movie that he had this insane hallucination that sounded like a vision of just hell. And but yeah, that's what sleep deprivation will do to you. Rifkin also discusses how late night cable television propelled both of his films, early films, Invisible Maniac and Psycho Cop Returns, into popularity. So again, very entertaining, very informative audio commentary with Riff Coogan. Again, Psycho Cop Returns, the Vinegar Syndrome DVD, Blu-ray combo pack. It's a must-own if you are a fan of Psycho Cop 2 or if you are a fan of early 90s B horror comedies. I love the movie. Great Blu-ray release from the fine folks over at Vinegar Syndrome to complement the movie. Fully restored, the uncut version of the movie is on here. All the over-the-top effects are back in the film. So yeah, definitely go out and pick up this Blu-ray. I highly, highly recommend it. And again, Vinegar Syndrome, if you are watching, please, please, please bring Psycho Cop to Blu-ray. That would be so awesome. I'll put a link to Vinegar Syndrome's website down in the description below. Go over and check them out. If you've seen Psycho Cop Returns, please let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below. If you've seen the first Psycho Cop, please let me know what you think of it down in the comments section below. Let me know what your favorite early 90s B horror comedy is down in the comments section below. If you've not entered my 7K subscriber giveaway, in which I'm giving away a free $50 Amazon gift card or some awesome shirts from my friends over at Ripped Apparel, do so today. That link is in the description. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. They're also right around here. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.